President Trump says he stands by his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, after Vanity Fair claimed she said in an interview that U.S. President had an alcoholic's personality. The two-part Vanity Fair piece includes 11 interviews with author Chris Whipple, which he claims to have conducted over Trump's first year in his second term in office. The interviews were published on Tuesday with close-up portraits of Trump administration officials. The photos feature prominent figures like White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Vanity Fair articles claimed that the White House Chief of Staff also spoke of internal tensions within the Trump administration over issues ranging from immigration enforcement, government downsizing. Other than describing Trump as having an alcoholic personality, the article further reported that Susie Wiles reportedly spoke about J.D. Vance, Pam Bondi, Trump's handling of the economy, and U.S. strikes on alleged drug boats. Now, according to the article, Susie Wiles in the interview claimed that Bondi botched her early handling of the Epstein files, while adding that J.D. Vance has spent a decade embracing conspiracy theories. Additionally, the White House Chief of Staff criticized Musk's approach to U.S. aid as not how she would have done it, noting that he is, in her words, an avowed ketamine user. However, Wiles has dismissed the article as She has dismissed the article, accusing the magazine of trying to paint an overwhelmingly chaotic and negative narrative about Trump's team. Meanwhile, President Trump strongly defended Susie Wiles in an interview to the New York Post. Expressing confidence in her, Trump also suggested he saw some truth in her comments about himself. The U.S. president said that even though he does not drink, he does have a possessive and addictive type personality. From the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, wading into Wiles' defense, to White House Press Secretary, the explosive article has drawn strong remarks from the White House and Trump officials. While Noem said Susie Wiles is an excellent leader and that her role as the first woman chief of staff in the United States history is historic. Leavitt said the most egregious part of the article was the clear bias of omission.
As for the Vanity Fair article, Michael, I'll take your question directly. This is, unfortunately, another example of disingenuous reporting, where you have a reporter who took the chief of staff's words wildly out of context, did not include the context those conversations were had within. And then further, I think the most egregious part of this article was the bias of omission that was clearly present. And we see a lot of this when dealing with the media every day. You will leave out important context, leave out comments and facts. You know, many people in this building spoke with that reporter, and those comments were never included in the story, probably because it didn't push this false narrative of chaos and confusion that the reporter was clearly trying to push. So what I'll say about our chief of staff, as you've seen from not just myself, but also the entire cabinet, and a groundswell of support from people on Capitol Hill who don't even work in this building, about how incredible Susie Wiles has been to President Trump.
The vice president said he has never seen Wiles be disloyal to the president of the United States. Responding to her alleged remarks on him, Vance said he and Wiles had often joked about him being a conspiracy theorist.
Sometimes I am a conspiracy theorist, but I only believe in the conspiracy theories that are true. And by the way, Susie and I have joked in private and in public about that for a long time. For example, I believed in the crazy conspiracy theory back in 2020 that it was stupid to mask 3-year-olds at the height of the COVID pandemic, that we should actually let them develop some language skills.
Wiles made history in January when she officially became the first woman chief of staff. Known to be the key architect of Trump's White House return, Susie was given the responsibility to manage the nationwide campaign for Trump this year. Earlier too, Trump recruited her for running his presidential bid in 2016. In 2012, she even ran the presidential bid of Utah Governor Jon Huntsman. She initially gained prominence by running high-profile campaigns in Florida and successfully managed Rick Scott's campaign for governor in 2010.